into the Diecast Showcase zone, we welcome one of the most divisive, perhaps controversial sports cars of the last 10 years of motor racing. It is basically Marmite on 4 wheels. It looks like Darth Vader's take on the Batmobile. The Nissan story in 2015 has been a fascinating one, and I get the feeling it isn't over yet. But for now, the one thing we know for certain is the model of the GTR-LM NISMO looks good anyway. Yeah, it's on box. Yeah, that's about as much as you need to know about the box. There's no dents or scratches. And this thing got smashed to pieces. Zingy, that's a good word. Oh, excuse me. It's sloppy. I've seen paper customs on YouTube done better than this. Yes, today in the Diecast Showcase zone we have the 2015 Nissan GTR-LM NISMO, a car that looks great, a car that doesn't quite go as great as it looks yet in real life, a car that you can drive at full power on Gran Turismo 6, and a car that is currently back in the Nissan bunkers, having more of the dark side of the Force being inserted into it. In fact, I have a theory on the recent news that Nissan have pulled this car out of the WEC for now to test it a bit more and work on next year's configuration. I've got a better idea. Star Wars is filming at the moment, isn't it? This is what this car is. It is Darth Vader's take on the Batmobile. I've said that the whole way through. This is from the dark side of the Force. I've said all along, I really like this car and I really like the project. I don't quite understand why they've had such a huge negative backlash since Le Mans. Okay, Le Mans didn't really go to plan at all. I mean, the hybrid system wasn't working, only one car finished. But newsflash, that's still a lot better than a lot of manufacturer efforts their first time at Le Mans. I can list off a huge line of big manufacturer projects that failed at the first hurdle at Le Mans, and none of them decided, okay, we're going to win Le Mans using a drivetrain and a method and a style of car which no one else uses. We're going to have front engine, we're going to have mostly front wheel drive, as opposed to everyone else having either 4-wheel drive or rear drive, and it being mid-engine. So I've cut Nissan a lot more slack than most people. As I say, I don't quite understand why the backlash has been so huge against them. But the great thing about this model sat in front of me is that hybrid issues, IRL, all of that, yeah, none of it matters. All it has to do is look good, and then when it comes to a stop motion, the hybrid can work, because I say it does. So let's have a look at the model itself. Now, full disclaimer, much like the Joe Sport car, this was very kindly sent to Team Bombersports. Big thank you to Lindsay at Nissan and NISMO for helping us out sourcing this car for us. Big thank you, that was a great job. These cars have been fairly hard to come by so far this year. They were on sale at the Nissan NISMO stand at Le Mans itself, but they've not really gone out to sort of general sale just yet. There's a few places you can get them. I found a few links to places you can get them, but they're fairly few and far between for now, and there's various different models that are going to be coming out later in the year. This is actually based on the demonstration test model that was in that Super Bowl commercial, and this is the car I actually sat in. Here are some photos of me sitting in this car IRL at the Nissan press event in London a couple of months back before Le Mans. And it was great to chat to the drivers like Max Chilton and Harry Tinknell and Jan Mardenborough and Mark Streltsitsky and Darren Cox himself, the kind of face of the project, if you will. I really admire Nissan's strategy. I really admire Nissan's philosophy to the game of really blowing the lid off of motorsport and making it about the fans and getting the fans involved as much as possible. I think that's great. They've shown that with an ongoing commitment to the Gran Turismo 6 or the Gran Turismo Academy, if you will, which you saw me try and fail to do well in. And obviously I drove this car in those in the final round of those events. And the model itself, well, firstly, I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm not quite sure who makes it. Who makes this one anyway. It doesn't say so on the box. It just says Nissan Motor Car Collection, or Motorsport Collection. And I can tell you for one thing, it's not a Spark model. And there's a very dead giveaway for that. The wheels roll. The wheels actually roll, ergo it is not a Spark model. As I've shown you in previous sports car diecast showcases, Spark models are designed to sit on a shelf and look nice, so rolling wheels are a kind of a luxury rather than a necessity. But this car has very free rolling wheels, so whoever made this model, thank you very much. You obviously had stop motion makers like myself in mind. But it also has no detail on the bottom, but then again, neither do the Spark models. As I say, they're display models. Who is going to display the model upside down like that? No one, especially when there's aerials like that on the top of it, so I should be pretty careful with that. The aerials are a little bit thicker than normal. It's not quite got the same level of fine detail as a Spark model, but then again, Spark models are pretty much museum quality pieces. They are incredible bits of kit, and I don't quite know how they produce so many of them for mass consumption as they do. But this model is very good as well. It captured the essence, and it's captured the look of the car absolutely brilliantly. And as I said, the look of this car is everything, because this is such a distinctive, such an epic looking car. It really captures the attention. It has a wow factor. I think that's why I like it. I'm very much a kind of optimist. I'm very much a sort of guy who's a bit of a romantic when it comes to motorsport. You know, we can look at the hard facts about how it's not worked and this is done well and it's fun, but I just go, yeah, but just look at it. Wow, that's what I do. Look at it. And it's got a front-wheel drive and it's all the funny stuff and it's got the wing and as I say, having sat in there, looking out of it, it is like you're in a space pod. It is like you are in a TIE fighter. I'm not kidding you. Now the car itself looks great and this model has captured that distinctive look really well. Let's just swing it around. There you go. The 23. Anyone know why most Nissan race cars are 23? Guessed yet? Ni, San are 2 and 3 in Japanese. And I know that for certain because my best grade at GCSE level in secondary school was in Japanese. I actually got a better grade in Japanese than I did in English. Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. But anyway, I can tell you that Ni in Japanese is 2 and San in Japanese is 3. So there you go, 23 is literally Nissan in Japanese. So there it is along the side, the real sort of extended nose of the thing, the big snout, and the engine stretching right back to here. There's not much in the way of cockpit detail, not a huge amount. There's the front end with that weird sort of tongue on the front of it. That's what it looks like to me anyway. And then we spin it back round. As I say, it's not the most finely detailed model ever. It's not quite on the same level as the Spark models, but it still looks really good. I have a feeling this model is either made by Ebro or Ixo. Those are the two names I've been heard to throw around. So if anyone has any details on those, please do let me know in the comments below. And in the meantime, this has been my diecast showcase on the 2015 Nissan GTR-LM NISMO, a car that looks spectacular. Sadly hasn't quite gone as well as it looks yet, although there is still hope for the program. But one thing I can guarantee you, may not be in many WEC races this year, but it will be in the London Sportscar Trophy. So, Nissan engineers, if you're going back to test a bit longer, understand you've got until about November, because that's when the London Sportscar Trophy is coming out, and this car will be in it. I absolutely guarantee it. So, that race was already must-see TV anyway. It now became even more so because this is likely going to be the only place this year that you are going to see this car race outside of Le Mans earlier this year. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. I look forward to bringing this car out in the London Sportscar Trophy with you. And I'll see you next time, Bombers.